Astrology, and this is the composite chart for Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake. And we can see that they would have a Libra rising, Sun in Aquarius, and Moon in Pisces. And if you don't know what a composite chart is, it's when we put the two charts together with their midpoints, and it creates this new chart. And we can see, let's look at the positives here. That I know a little bit about this couple. I did a little bit of research beforehand because I suspected some things, and what I saw did not surprise me. They have the Sun and Mercury in Aquarius in the 5th. So we can see that right there, if we look at the Sun as an indicator of something positive that they can do together, that they would have a positive experience with, it has to do with romance, the 5th house, their children, the raising of their children. They have 2 kids together. That would be more of a positive area of life for these two. And we can see that the North Node, where they're headed as a couple, is in Leo as well, which also is a sign for children and romance. And I don't think anyone really would suspect that they would have a problem romantically, these two. So that definitely makes sense. The North Node being in the 10th, what they're known for as a couple. I think in the end, that's what they'll be known for. Celebrity couple. Think of like a couple that people like to watch as being an example of a romantic couple, a couple that looks good, a couple that other people might want to see and dream about having that experience for themselves. Also, in the end, I think they would be known for having children together. And we see the South Node here. We have the South Node in Aquarius, and Venus is conjunct the South Node in the 4th house. And that's the ruler of the chart, the ruler of Libra is Venus. And we can see by just the rising Libra that this is going, you can see the themes already about what this relationship is going to be about. There will be challenges when it comes to the relationship, learning about being in a relationship. There could be cheating involved. There could be scandals, just all the things that go along with Libra and learning. Really, Libra representing the sign that has to learn about being in a relationship. And the ruler of Venus is in the 4th. So we see again and it's in Capricorn, some of the more positive aspects of this relationship. They do have a family together with the 2 children. They've been together, from my understanding, they've been together for a while, maybe 8 to 10 years. And it's in the 4th house conjunct the South Node where they're coming from as a couple. So maybe this whole thing started because there was a strong emotional attachment to each other. And if we look at the synastry, which I haven't done yet, he has his son. Timberlake's son is in the sign where her Mercury is. He's got a lot of Aquarius and Uranus in his chart. She's got a lot of Aquarius, Uranus in her chart. So there may have been a strong emotional attachment regarding some of these energies, and that's where they're coming from in the 4th. And what we can also see, because it's conjunct the South Node, like if we saw Venus conjunct the North Node, this might be an easier relationship. But because it's conjunct the South Node, there's going to be some scenarios that really have them maybe feeling frustrated at times, challenges that are maybe harder to overcome, that can't be overcome. And we see if we look at the moon in the 6th house of work, so they're both definitely going to be involved as a couple. They're going to be involved in work, and with all this Aquarius and Uranus is trining in the house of money, is trining that North Node almost exactly. They could be doing some work for television. Obviously, they're actors and actresses. Being an actor and an actress, they could be doing stuff on the internet, and that's their work. And you see it's in Pisces. being a couple who's known for artistry. But that moon is squaring the Mars Neptune in the third. And the Mars Neptune in the third, that's the house of the mind. And Neptune can be very deceptive. I think with Mars and Moon, that's a square as well. It's not considered. Would be part of their challenges, being it's a square, and that the Moon also contacting Mars, and the Moon in the sixth, and this Mars Neptune, I think would represent possibly the romantic or sexual issues on the set of movies, and I did see that was part of the discussion about their relationship troubles. Is that if you look at Timberlake's roles with, I think one of them was Cameron Diaz, one of them was Mila Kunis. I mean, these are not typical roles that all actors might play with that would trouble their marriages. I mean, if you saw those movies, I wouldn't want my significant other participating in those movies. I mean, I would trust them, but I mean that how much can you trust a person when he's sat next to Mila Kunis in a sexual movie? I mean, so that's the way I look at it. I don't think you could trust him. So we see that here with the moon being in the house of work, and the Mars and Neptune, that very shady situation that could definitely cause some problems. And we see as well this Venus South Node squaring the Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto in the first. And I like the Saturn Jupiter conjunction, but I don't like the Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto in the first. I think you can see with the squaring the Venus there in the fourth, and the ruler of the fourth being Saturn, there could be a lot of emotional issues uh, regarding regarding who they are. They consider, I guess the words they use are like A-list celebrities. You think of the first house as being the I am. They may have this great intimate emotional relationship, but at the same time, it's not helping them that they're celebrities. And that's where we see the square with the the Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn being the work, what they're known for, and Pluto, Jupiter really expanding that like in a massive, massive way. And I'm not sure that can be overcome. And you see with the movies being made, they would have to, I think they would have to stop making those movies. They would really, like, if he really wanted to make this a little bit easier, he wouldn't have took those roles. And we see the square, this energy here, these three planets in the first are squaring that north node. And, it comes back to what I'm saying, that, resolving this 10th house energy. What do you want to be known for? I mean, because now you have a family, you want to preserve this great relationship. You may want to reassess how you're doing this 10th house, how you're putting yourself out there. And it's interesting to see that these problems, we can see them in the composite chart here. It's very obvious. But in real life, it's always not so obvious. But even from an egoic standpoint, you might think, like, as a common person, you might think, well, do you really need any more money? Do you really need to really express yourself in that way? And when I question it, I look at it that way. I think it's really quite simple. They don't need the money. They don't need they could be more picky about what they do. But then from their standpoint, when we look at their charts and how the energy is playing out in them, how the spirit is experienced through them, they would not feel that way. They might feel that way about the money, but they need to express. It's like Leo needs to express itself. And if think of Leo, you might think, well, he may feel like he needs to express himself through the theater, through being an actor, and through romance on the stage. So I hope that makes sense. There's a lot. I mean, it's kind of complicated. Uh, I'm not going to do any more on this chart. If you have any comments down below. One more thing. Yeah, feel free to leave comments if you have any comments. I appreciate the comments, the discussion. They do have Chiron in the seventh, the house of relationship. And it is making it inconjunct to that Mars, inconjunct being an adjustment. Um, there are some adjustments to be made regarding this Mars Neptune conjunction and the Chiron in the seventh, which we would say there could be some pains there, some wounds in this relationship, maybe um, due to the experiences that I mentioned. So I hope this helps you learn about composite charts, and I hope you enjoy this mini composite reading for Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake.